Hi, my name's Annalisa, and I am starting a YouTube channel about being vegan, sober, and an animal rights advocate. And I'm hoping that my story and my journey through my YouTube channel can help inspire others to pick a healthier lifestyle and maybe take control of their life and put that back into the world somehow. Um, so my first video blog that I want to do focuses on how I decided to be vegan, sober, and stop smoking in 4 months, and how I've managed to stay on track and maintain that, and kind of how I got up to that point, and some tips on how I've stayed there. My dogs are freaking out right now as I videotape this. They're playing quite a bit. I don't have anything. Every time I've tried to film a video, they're just up in here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi on video? If you watch my video blog, you'll see lots of them because they're always here and always around me. Anyways, all right, so a little bit about me. I'm 27 and I was raised vegetarian, but I started eating meat throughout, elementary school, middle school. I was vegan for a few years, off and on vegetarian. I'm lactose intolerant, so I haven't had dairy on purpose in quite a long time. I get violently ill from dairy. I quit being vegan for a few years, and if anyone's interested in why I stopped being vegan, maybe I'll do a separate video about that. It was not health related, it was more social pressure kind of dynamics. Like I just got kind of tired of dealing with negativity from people about being vegan, and so I just kind of gave up for a while. But that's not what this video is about. So anyway, I started getting some pretty bad stomach digestion issues when I was around 23 years old, and I was not vegan during this time, but I wasn't consuming any dairy, and I was rarely eating meat. It would just be like here and there. And I was working out a lot, and I wasn't really eating very well. Like I would eat very small amounts throughout the day and not the healthiest foods, and then I would just kind of eat whatever I wanted at night. And then I was working out a lot and working a lot, and I lost a lot of weight. And with the way my diet was and the way I was losing weight and how many hours I was working, I ended up developing IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. And it started really controlling kind of my life in a lot of ways. And I'm not a heavy drinker, but I was drinking enough to where that added element to it was not good. And anyways, all these kind of health things started to develop for me, and I didn't go to a doctor for a long time and just kind of dealt with it. And it was until maybe like a year or two after I had been experiencing a lot of these problems that I finally went to a doctor and was diagnosed with IBS. I self-diagnosed, and then they were like, yeah, you're right, you have IBS. And I started trying to learn about what I could do, and a lot of that was, eating more regularly, eating the same types of foods every day. And so I went down that kind of road. When I was vegan the first time, it was the healthiest I ever felt. And I had another stint of trying to quit smoking and quit drinking and being vegan. And that was the best I ever felt in my life. I was working out, I was losing weight, and I was really feeling good about my body. And then life stuff happened, and I just felt kind of like the health stuff was the reason why the life stuff had happened. Like I felt like it made me further away from my friends. I felt like the people in my life weren't healthy, and so it was hard for me to be healthy because I felt like it was putting distance between me and the people that I cared about. And so I decided to kind of say fuck it and just kind of went back to the life that I was living before, which was really unfortunate because I ended up just becoming unhealthy again, gaining lots of weight again, and drinking a lot and coping with my problems like that. And I've never considered myself an alcoholic, but I've definitely been the type of person where if I had a bad day at work, I'd come home and have a drink or a bottle of something. There's been times throughout my life where I was probably more of an alcoholic, and I've been able to stop and kind of regroup. I've never been like somebody that I felt like needed to go to rehab or AA or anything like that, but it just started, drinking really started becoming a negative thing in my life. So I moved to California, lost a bunch of weight in a very unhealthy way, developed IBS, and then when I got diagnosed, I started trying to take better care of myself in terms of how I was eating, but I didn't actually really know how to eat more and regularly and not gain weight. And so essentially, I started gaining weight. My job started getting really, really bad, and I started drinking more again to cope with things that were going on at my job because I was very angry and upset all the time. And when I get off, I just wanted to go blow off steam and have fun and have a good weekend and, hang out with my friends. And I started drinking beer again, which I had stopped drinking for like 3 years. And if you want to lose weight, drinking beer is not the way to lose weight. So that was a big that was a big reason why I gained a lot of weight. But essentially within a year I put on 30 pounds, and I had gone from being like my skinniest and fittest self, not necessarily in a healthy way, but to being back to a weight that I was really uncomfortable with in myself. And that was kind of traumatic for me, and just kind of like, okay, here I am again. Like, I can't stick to anything. I can't stick to being healthy, blah, 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 blah. So I decided, I was like, I'm just over it. I'm done. I'm just going to start working out again. I know how to lose weight. I've done this before. I'm going to try to do this a healthier way this time, and I'm just going to start working out. So I started working out again, and I started losing a little bit of weight and kind of, eating better, and I cut the beer out. I didn't quit drinking, but I tried to cut back on the beer and all that, and started to see a difference, and I started to feel better, and I started to eat better, and I was eating mostly vegan. Like, I've already pretty much ate that way, except occasionally would have some meat here and there. And I started finding myself going out with my friends or going to parties or things like that, or, going to a bar. And I was DJing a bunch of the time too, and I would end up drinking when I didn't really feel like drinking, just because it was happening around me. And I would find myself getting really drunk and just kind of saying and doing things, and it started really clashing with this other side of myself that I was starting to live, which was this person that was waking up early, going to bed early, and working out every day and eating pretty healthy. And I started feeling like even just these weekends of just having a couple drinks and hanging out were just starting to feel really negative. And I would have a drink and it wouldn't even feel good. Like, nothing about it was feeling good. I'm 27, so I did a lot of partying when I was younger too. Like, I've partied as much as I feel like anyone can party without dying. I've probably partied that much. And so for me, I just feel like I'm not missing out on anything at this point. Like, there's no alcohol or party or kind of thing that I feel like I would need to be consuming in order to feel that, oh, this is so fun type of feeling. Like, to me, that element of drinking is just done. Like, there's just no more fun. It's even if it is fun, it's so short-lived that it's just not even worth it. So drinking at this point for me became negative, really, really negative. It became a coping mechanism. It started giving me anxiety. I have really severe anxiety already, and it was just one more thing on top of everything else, and kind of going against what I was doing in my daily life, which was waking up, working out, and eating healthy. So November came. I started the fitness. I gained a bunch of weight, and then decided in August of 2015 that 2015 or 2014. It was 2015. I started my own business, and I'm a dog walker. I started my own dog walking business. And so I was outside every day, hiking every day, working out, hanging out with animals, and just feeling like I need to do something healthy and good for myself. So I just decided November, I'm going back to being vegan. Like, this makes sense. It feels the most in line with my body, my IBS. Like, I don't digest meat well. I don't break it down. I don't eat it enough to break it down well at all. I've felt the best when I was vegan. So November 2015, I went back to being vegan. and decided that I was not ever going to not be vegan again. Like, this is what I've always known to be good for myself, good for my body. It falls in line with my values. This is what I should be doing. And that decision, my husband supported me in, because he had, when we got together, I was vegan, and then he's seen me sick enough times from other things that aren't vegan that he knows that my body processes food the best when I'm vegan. But it was going to be kind of another uphill battle with everyone else in my life and people. I had a lot of new friends that didn't know me very well, and I just kind of knew that this time I needed to kind of put it out there that, hey, I'm going on this journey and I need support and I need love because I'm trying to get healthy and take better care of myself, and here's what I need from you. And I think that that really made a huge difference in how I was treated when I decided to make those choices. So from November to December, I just got really healthy and really clean in my day to day. And I had a couple instances where I was out and had some drinks, and the nights just did not really go very well, and the mornings didn't go very well either. And I just felt gross. Like, I just felt like, why am I doing this? Like, who am I doing this for? Because it's not for me. Like, drinking is not doing anything for me but making me feel horrible about myself and making me feel like I can't handle things. Like, it makes me feel like I am a weak person because I need to drink. It's not like I'm going out and having this great time. Like, I'm going out and drinking because I'm in a bad mood, and then I wake up and I feel like shit, and like, what's the point of this? So I'm a Motorhead fan. I don't know if anybody watching likes Motorhead, but when Lemmy passed away, I went out with a friend of mine, and I had a couple drinks, and they just didn't really make me feel very good. And I remember I was having so much fun until I started feeling the second drink. And as soon as I started feeling buzzed, I just started feeling stupid. Like, I could feel the cells in my brain dying. I felt like I was like, the drunk was coming in, and I felt myself getting dumber. And it was like I was trapped inside this drunk, dumb person body that I couldn't control because I was drunk. And Lemmy passed away, so I was like, I'm drinking for Lemmy. And I was just like, I don't really want to be one of these people that copes with things this way. And I don't really want to do this if it's not making me feel good. And today is a great day to kind of commemorate the fact that I think I'm just done. I'm done drinking. And I decided to make that night my last night that I ever drank a drink ever again. And it's been, what's today, October 3rd, and that was December 28th that I had my last drink, and I haven't had a drink since then, and I don't regret my decision. I feel amazing. I haven't had a hangover. I haven't had a bad night from drinking, none of that stuff. And I've gone to bars, I've gone to parties. I'm the only sober person there most of the time, and all anyone ever says is how envious they are of the fact that I'm not hungover, or they know that I'm not going to feel like shit. So that's been pretty good reinforcement there. So November vegan, December alcohol. And another reason why I decided to quit drinking was because I was ready to quit smoking. All of the dog walking and working out really made me want to not smoke anymore. And I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to quit smoking if I didn't quit drinking. And so I knew that drinking had to go first. And that was the hardest one, because I was like, well, drinking I don't really have that big of a problem with, but smoking I'm addicted. Like, I smoked for 10 years and I like it. Like, I really, really liked, I'll put past tense, smoking cigarettes. I just always wanted to smoke when I was younger, and then when I got to, it just felt like that was me. Like, I was supposed to smoke cigarettes, which now I'm like, ew, that's disgusting, because smoking's disgusting, and I couldn't imagine starting to smoke again anymore. Like, the fact that I feel that distance from it is crazy. So February came, and I decided to, I actually didn't decide. I was trying to cut back, and then I just ended up, I ran out of cigarettes. I went to a friend's house for a party and had a cigarette, and then I just decided I'm not going to buy a pack for as long as I can, and I haven't bought a pack since then. I've even found full packs of cigarettes and not taken them and just left them there. And now I'm at the point where just I see somebody smoking, and I'm not at the point anymore where I wish that I had that. I'm like kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I loved doing that for so long, because I could not imagine putting that in my body anymore. And so that was kind of the trifecta for me. And it was like, once I quit smoking, it just made being vegan and sober even easier, because those drinking and smoking go hand in hand for me. And so just not having that relationship in my life, like the relationship between those things in my life anymore, has helped keep me on track. But it's really, I've had to make the conscious decision that I enjoy being healthy. I enjoy working out. I've learned to like the feeling of my body sore from working out, because it makes me feel strong. It makes me feel like I'm doing something productive. Um, Also, with going back to being vegan, it's not just about weight loss, it's not just about health, it's not just about digestion. I work with animals on a regular basis, and the idea of hurting them or eating them or using them in any way, whether it's clothing or entertainment or anything like that, I don't believe in. I don't think it's right. And so um, being vegan just feels natural to me in that way, but it wasn't that way getting there. Like the amount of education and things that I've had to learn kind of about being healthy, about being vegan, about the ethical treatment of animals or the non-ethical treatment of animals in different industries has been a lot. And I've had to really sit and ask myself, if I go down this road, do I want to go down it all the way? Can I go down it all the way? And yes, I can, and you can too. And I'm just a normal person. I'm just a regular person that just woke up one day and decided that I was over it. I was done. I was tired of letting other people's fears, or my own fears, get in the way of me living my life to what I believe in or what my values are. And I think working with animals kind of helped me, because it was like, well, if I think dogs should have rights, and I think dogs should be treated well, and I don't think dogs should be worn or abused or eaten, how is that different from any other animal? Like, for me, there's no difference. I think all animals deserve a right to live. And so part of me staying vegan and feeling like I can stay vegan this time around, because the first time was definitely more dietary related, but this time I have the ethical value system behind it. And so I'm going to suggest a couple movies for veganism to watch if you're interested in going vegan. Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, Earthlings, and when you watch those on Netflix or on YouTube, there'll be a couple other movies that come up, and just watch all of them. Just watch all of any dietary kind of movie that you can. There's a lot of documentaries about sugar, so if you're interested in cutting out sugar in your diet, which I've cut out a lot of refined sugars too, which has helped a lot, and that kind of goes in with the alcohol kind of stuff. Just freak yourself out enough about unhealthy things, and it'll be easier for you to stick to a healthy regimen. But I struggle with depression and anxiety, and to be totally open, have struggled with suicide, depression, those related things. And I'll be the first person to admit that getting healthy does not make those things go away. It doesn't make anxiety and depression go away. And if anything, it makes you really have to sit and acknowledge the fact that you have those things, and that you have to figure out how to heal those things in yourself and how to really deal with them. And that's not easy. It's not easy to wake up and be sober and be like, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, and I can't drink, I can't smoke a cigarette, I can't self-medicate. But there's something that makes you feel really strong too, is you're like, I'm choosing to actually deal with this. I'm choosing to get help. I'm choosing to wake up and work out. I'm choosing to eat well. That's not just good for me, but it's good for the planet. It's good for other animals. And for me, the type of person that I am, is a lot of my depression stems from feeling helpless and feeling like we live in a world that is going to shit, and there's no point in doing anything, and you may as well just give up. And I just started realizing that that was like a really not fun way to live my life. And if I'm going to be here, if I'm going to be alive, then I should probably try to be a part of the solution instead of being a part of the problem, because I think there's enough people being a part of the problem at this point. So just kind of telling yourself that just because you can't do everything doesn't mean you can't do something, and that starting on the path to making these changes, and, you know, not beating yourself up if you have a bad day where maybe you fall behind or something like that. Just take it as you go. Decide, you know, I'm only, like, let's say you drink every day. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to cut back and I'm going to drink every other day for a month. And then the next month, I'm going to drink every weekend instead of every other day. And I'm going to go 5 days without drinking. And just keep doing that. And I did that with smoking. Like, I made rules for myself where, like, I used to smoke a pack a day, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to try to smoke half a pack a day. Okay, and I made rules. I'm not allowed to smoke in the car. I have to wait till I get to work, or I have to wait till I get home, or I'm not allowed to smoke on my 5-minute breaks anymore, or I'm just allowed to smoke on my lunch break. Or I'm only allowed to have, I got to try to go the whole day without a cigarette, and then I can have as many when I get home as I want. And those little tricks that I did with myself, I did that for probably like 2 or 3 years before I actually quit smoking. And so when I say, like, I've gone vegan in 4 months, or I quit drinking in 4 months, or I quit smoking in 4 months, I quit doing, you know, I started being vegan and I quit drinking and smoking. I did all of that in 4 months, but I had been building up to that place for a few years. And so it's important to give yourself baby steps and give yourself windows. If you're the type of person right now where you're full on eating meat and dairy, you're full on drinking every day or every weekend, you're smoking 2 packs a day, if you hear what I'm saying, you're going to have a panic attack and you're going to say, I can't do that in 4 months. There's no way I can change my life in 4 months. Nobody's asking you to do that, and nobody's saying that you have to do it in 4 months. This has been an off and on ongoing journey for me, and I got to a place where I was just 100% in my soul ready for a healthy change, and I need it, and I need it now. And I don't regret it, and I feel like I'm starting a YouTube channel with this video, and I'm trying to help people because I feel like the people that I follow that have shared their stories and their journeys, whether it's about weight loss or sobriety or starting a business or overcoming some kind of obstacle, that I feed off of that. I thrive off of that. I love having those types of people out in the world sharing their stories and sharing their journey on the internet. And so I feel like I want to contribute to that, and I feel like a lot of the things that I've done this year, I can't believe I've done this year, because I like 2 years ago, if you would have told me you have your own business, you're vegan, you're sober, you quit smoking finally, like, if anybody were to tell me that, I would have laughed in their face and I would have been like, I don't know who that person is. And so I'm sitting here kind of as, you know, living proof, I feel like, that you can make a change, and you can, you know, give yourself an opportunity to really take your life. And, you know, if there's something eating away at you at night, if you're up at night and you're not feeling like you're the person that you're supposed to be, and you're blaming your life. I do that a lot. Like, I'll blame, I didn't have the right childhood, I didn't have the right education, I'm just not the right kind of person for that kind of life. Like, I give myself a lot of excuses as to why to not do something. And what changed for me was I wiped that clean. Like, I wiped the slate clean, and I said, well, let's pretend that you're somebody. Let's just pretend that you're a blank canvas, and let's fill the canvas with whatever you want. And that kind of, when I started doing that, had this like, oh shit, I could just start doing whatever I want right now. Like, what am I waiting for? Why am I holding on to this? This stuff already happened. It's not even still happening. It's memories, that fragments of shit that's probably not even how it really happened, that I'm, you know, replaying over and over and over in my head. And so I decided, I was like, here's a blank canvas. You're going to do what you want with it. And I said, okay, if I had a blank canvas, what would I do? Who would I be? Am I someone right now that I would respect? And at the time that I was asking myself those things, I was not somebody that I respected. I did not feel like I was somebody that I would look up to, and that messed with me, and that was a problem for me. And so I made a list of what I needed to do in order to be somebody that I respected, and working out every day, eating a vegan, plant-based diet, sharing with others and trying to be a more positive person, not drinking, not doing drugs, and not smoking cigarettes, fell in line with all of that. I have a lot of friends that do all of those things. I have friends that eat meat. I have friends that eat dairy. I have friends that do drugs. I have friends that drink. I have friends that smoke. I have friends that don't do any of those things. I'm not here to judge people that are doing those things, but I'm here to say that if you feel like that's not in line with who you're supposed to be and you want to do something about it, you can do something about it. There's plenty of people like me out there that are doing it, and we're all here. If we're on YouTube and we're sharing our stories, we're here to help you feel like you can too. So this is my first YouTube video. I know that it's kind of a weird, roundabout, scattered kind of way. I'm hoping that I get better at doing this and get better at sharing. I have a blog called The Bitchy Parrot. It's thebitchyparrot.wordpress.com, and I have more of my journey kind of in posts in a more explained kind of linear way. So if you're interested in reading more about my journey, I started the blog when I first kind of really started the journey, and so you can kind of see from the first post the transgression between then and now, and I'm kind of trying to lump all of that into a YouTube video. This YouTube video is already way too long. So anyways, first post. I hope to post more if you watch. Thanks for watching. All right.